the jewel of South America with regard to its beauty. It is home to unique and breathtaking cultural and natural tourist attractions. I am sure that every traveler's dream is to travel to Peru because Peru is well known for its large number of archaeological sites, vast Amazon basin, and Spanish colonial history, and as well one of the least expensive countries to retire to. I know you're excited to join us today on the Midday Show live on Nelco Television. Please do well to drop your comment on our Facebook and YouTube page. You're welcome to the Midday Show. I have Tony in the studio with me. Hi, Tony.
How are you?
I'm fine.
How have you been?
Very well, thank
Are
you.
you excited to go to Peru?
I'm very excited to go to Peru because it's a safe country to visit.
So supposing it's not a safe country, would you have
Who wants to go
otherwise?
to a place that is going to endanger his life?
What if it's not safe, but then there are promises of job opportunities, and then you being well established, like a lot of your what are those things called? All those necessities, all these small necessities that you're supposed to be taking care of. That's supposed to take care of you, and all those are promised to you over there. What would you do?
First things first, safety comes first.
And what if you are being assured that your safety is guaranteed?
That's not a problem, of course. Like right away, I'm on
What
my
if
way
the country
to
in
Peru.
entirety is not safe?
Then
But
I
then
won't
you're
go.
being assured that you're going to be safe
I won't go,
with all of the promises given.
even with the assurance. Haven't you heard where they've killed like even people that are supposed to be securing you or rather protecting you and all of that?
Anything can happen. Even with the assurance being given that the country is a safe country, that doesn't mean anything or some sort of irregularity cannot happen.
I won't go.
Okay.
But the thing is, Peru is actually one of the safest countries to go and a cheap country, less expensive.
So you love
country
cheap.
to visit.
You love cheap.
I
cheap
agree,
things.
yes, because
If I
when
say
they talk
follow me to
about- you will
sophisticated
not-
places, places that you have your eye opened, places that you go and then you will be well represented, and then whatever thing that you want would definitely be at your
beck and call.
beck and call, and all of those things. You say I'm trying to be all prideful, I'm trying to be what I am
So when
not,
someone
I am
asks you
trying to
between
be
me and you
all,
right now, who is looking cheap? What would you say?
I look more expensive. Should we cost ourselves?
Yes. Let's start from your
We
glasses.
shouldn't start. We shouldn't do this today. We should do
No,
it some
I
other
want
time.
us to do this. You see?
I would want to cost myself, but I don't want to look down on you. Like I don't want you to see
look down
yourself
on me.
less.
This
Because
not
I know
the
the
first
feeling.
time.
I know the
This
feeling.
is not the first time you're looking
Well, you're
down
talking about
on
Peru,
me.
not ourselves.
It's a lie. This is not the first time you're doing this to me, so why should I be surprised? Like, no pain.
Really?
Yes, no pain.
Well, I have regard for women though, so let's
Hey,
just,
when did you
let's-
start
let's
that?
let's drop this.
Anyways, let me not talk about that one first. But truthfully, Peru is actually
A
one
nice
of
place.
the should I
Most
say-
traveled places
yes,
that
most
tourists
traveled
go.
places and a safe country to visit. Because talking about visiting Peru and then you realize that you have a lot of things to do.
Yeah,
Like
most
somebody was
like-
saying, this is one of the places where you can retire to. Because when you talk about retirement, there are people that retire today with maybe the amount of money
It's
that
not
they're
that
being paid is
really
not
much,
yet.
and then you
So
thinking
then-
of what establishment of business would you
to
do
do.
to sustain yourself and all.
So then they have businesses that you can do. They said whatever business or whatever kind of job you want to get, you get it in Peru. So just find yourself in Peru. So if you find yourself in Peru to do business, you're safe. Because you're doing business, you're getting what you want, your income and all of that. Nobody's cheating anybody.
True.
So then if you retire to such a country, then you're covered. Somebody like me, I'm saying I love to go to cheap places. It's not the issue of going to cheap places, but places where you
But
can
putting-
establish
yeah,
yourself.
putting your
Places
putting your resources
To use because there are countries that are very expensive today that you can't find
you hardly
yourself
have
there
little
like
things to
good.
to
So then when you
establish,
find a place where you can invest in a lot of business and then you get incomes and all of that, then you're good to go. Because you're just trying to think of how you want to take care of yourself and your immediate family and all these things. So then it's very good to visit Peru, and then it's a safe country to visit as well.
True.
Because when you talk about being safe, you talk about your properties, talk about yourself. You find yourself in the right places, you do the right things, and then you're good to go.
True.
Talking about going to Peru, I feel it is one of the things that travelers should, or places that travelers should actually put into consideration. It should be in their bucket list. I want to travel to Peru. not because I want to go and have fun, because they have a lot of places
There are a lot
that
of
you can
things,
visit. Beautiful. Peru
activities.
is actually a beautiful country for you
True.
to visit, and they have a lot of activities for you to do. So then it's not like you go there and dull yourself. No, you go there, you have a lot of things to do. So then visiting Peru should be one of the things that one should put in his bucket list.
Yeah, true. You're talking about Peru. The country has been in existence for over 10,000 years, and then the country as well boasts of say many fascinating things aside what we discussed about what you talk about. I mean about the issue of your being sustained financially, having one business or the other to have yourself indulged into or establishing. Like there, aside those things, there are also things like nature and the cultural facets that you can get yourself like dived into, that you would be so amazed on how naturally rainforest things like rainforests are being preserved, because about say 100% of, let's say let's say 60%, like let me even put it this way, that the country has about 60% of rainforest. That is, the place is actually a very green place. That is even good for agriculture. So whichever your plan is, whatsoever your plan is rather, and whatsoever intention you have towards Peru, that would probably trigger your say blossom in terms of finance and all. I think one thing that you should consider too is agriculture, because of how versatile their land is and how wide their land is as well in terms of agriculture and say farming and all those things, because that's one of the things that actually boosts their economy. And then aside that, it's actually one of the places that tourists find so attractive to visiting, because of how naturally endowed the country is. And the country has about say 32 millions of population, 32 million of population, where there are a lot of people indulging into one thing or the other. And they are not just this kind of persons or people that are arrogant, but then they are easygoing. You can just, all you need to do is just to put a greeting to them or a gesture towards them, a warm gesture toward them, and then they would like give you whatsoever thing you want to probably you are requesting them for. Or probably if you have any intention that you want to have as regards you're settling there, all you need to do is just to make the necessary enquiries, and then before you know it, you are well established and you're already an employee and becoming a boss of your own. It's that simple.
Boss of your own.
You can call me that,
Boss.
Tony Elomelu.
Anyways, we have reasons why people travel to Peru.
True.
Or rather reasons why people wish to travel
Travel to
or
Peru.
want to travel to Peru. We have to marvel at its historic sanctuary of Machu Picchu. I think when I was reading about this Machu Picchu, I was asking myself like, what do they really do?
There.
Like, yes, in this particular place. And then he said it was chosen for one of the new 7 wonders of the world. And then it was built with polished dry stone walls in the classical Inca style. And then most of its outlying buildings were restored with the aim to show tourists the original scene of Machu Picchu as much as possible. That is why most people wish to travel to this particular place.
You know, some people even stand up or probably travel all the way from their different countries to this place just because of this Machu Picchu place.
Yes.
Because of
and
how
then because of
significant
how
the place is built,
how the place is. And then like when you find yourself in this particular place, in as much as when you see it is very beautiful, but when you find yourself in that place, I don't think, like, some people can be scared of actually being in.
I don't see anything scary here.
Okay,
This kind of place, you don't go alone.
Of course,
you have those that will guide you. You have friends that will want to go with you. And since it's more of like a tourist attraction, of course you will meet so many people there. So I don't think it's a scary place. And I think it's a place that you have fun. Yeah, you will have fun, and then you just, if you're a type like me that like taking pictures, like you take pictures to stupor.
The place is actually, the site is actually the perfect combination of natural beauty and cultural significance.
True.
So then whatever it is you do, like for me looking at it, it's a beautiful place to be. Like, people talk about it a lot. People travel to this particular place a lot because they just want to experience a lot of things. And then the destination, people travel to this particular place to have fun. And then it is the most well-known symbol of the Inca civilization and one of the most important archaeological sites in South America.
The whole of South America continent. Wow. Wow.
This is interesting
I
though.
like. I think I love being here, and it's like a place that is on top, like situated on top of a hill,
Yeah,
that you can have like more of like an oversight of every other places and all of
true,
those. Like I
true.
think it's actually a very nice
People
place to
visit this
go.
place a lot, and it's actually a place for
It's
someone
a
to
place
find
I would love
themselves.
to. Look at
True.
how clean
More
and
like a
sweet it
staircase,
is.
like you have to climb,
Yeah,
like the
it
staircase
is
you're
giving me
climbing
this
to the
vibe of a
top.
stadium, like more of like
Yes,
a
yes.
theater or something. Then after that, we have the cuisine. They have a very nice cuisines too, which tends to be the world's biggest destination at the World Travel Awards for the last 5 years in a row.
Hmm.
And then the Organization of African States also gave the Peruvian food the title the cultural heritage of the Americas for the world. And it was the first cultural expression in the era to get this honor. And then with this information, you may have a better idea of the popularity and position of the Peruvian cuisine. That is, in terms of food, they are just so outstanding.
I think they had
Tell
they
me,
got an award or something.
yeah, like in the 5 years
Yes.
stretch, you are just collecting this award
So
back to
that's to tell
back.
you that this is one of the things you should try. Like, don't just
Me and
waste
my
it.
tummy, I'm here.
You know, leave her for
I
house.
don't leave out for also. I don't go anywhere. And then the cuisine is actually a great diversity, which benefit from the cultural exchange between the Spanish, the Africans, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Italians, and then many others. And then also because of the diverse range of agricultural products, more than 4,000 varieties of potato,
Potatoes,
2,000 sweet potatoes, 35,000.
types of corn,
Oh my goodness.
15 species of
I
tomato.
told you
Are you
60% of
for
this place is like it's
I
land, it's green all
honestly,
through. So
like
if it is agriculture that you want to go and have yourself established,
you're good
like you
to
are good
go.
to go. Come on, 5,000, 35,000 types,
Of
different
corn,
types
different
of
types
corn.
of corn. No.
Damn,
Wow, 15 species of tomato.
Jesus. Are you sure?
600 pieces of native
This,
fruit.
aside from the fact that they have in tourist, say sites, I think even this you've been indulging into their cuisine and all of these things, I think is one experience, because having seen some of these things, how they vary from one
One
to
to
the
the
other.
other.
Like I feel it's something that is
Especially
worth
for this
seeing.
potato, like they
Especially
have
for
different colors, oh, and then the flavor
the
is
only
different, the
the only
taste and
potato that
everything.
I've seen, like two types of
Sweet
potato.
potato and Irish potato.
No, it's not even that one. I'm talking about the color.
The color
Yeah,
white
it's just the white and
and
the
is it
is it pink
purple
or
and the
something? I
pink.
don't know, something of that
Then
nature.
imagine if you find yourself in Peru
And
and
I haven't
then
seen, you see green,
you
you
see
see
maybe
yellow, you see
orange,
orange, you see, oh my
different colors.
goodness.
Like that's just so amazing to know.
Wow, I think
That's
it's
something special about Peru. Like when you find yourself, you experience a lot and then
true.
you learn a lot.
True.
Like different things. When you talk about agriculture, like this is one of the places you should find yourself.
True.
Just imagine seeing different species of tomato, different species of corn, like different types. Like this is exciting to know that you get to see all these things and then you have an experience to even tell other people and all of
I
that.
swear.
You have to even taste it, like you eat it and know how it feels like and all of that. It's interesting to know. And then we have another reason to travel to Peru again, to admire its Instagramic landscape. Okay, of course, when you talk about Instagram, we all know that people talk about snapping pictures,
True.
posting
That
it
is,
for people
that is
to
where you
see.
see people like
That
doing
you
that.
see. What do you mean? Like, do you know that? I can't remember the last time I posted anything on Instagram.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
think
Even
it's
me.
Who is this one? Please, you're not even included.
This is the reason why I'm supposed to be there, because I need my Instagram page to be filled with pictures from Peru. Yeah,
Actually,
these are places that you go to. You don't like pictures of places like this alone would gain you a lot of followers. So in case you are looking for followers to my fellow picture addict like I am,
thank God you know you're a picture artist. Please, what's the name for it?
please travel to Peru. Travel to Peru and have yourself dived into or key yourself into pictures.
Peru has
and
so
all
much to offer people. Like if you talk about going to Peru, not just the fun part of it, but the business part of it.
Yeah, true.
Because you can't tell me you find yourself in Peru and then you want to, maybe let's say you want to start life in Peru and then you tell me there's nothing to do. That's not true.
They are so business minded.
They have a lot of things to offer to you, so there's no dull moment in Peru. So don't just go and find yourself and tell me you did not do anything and then you came back.
And then the one thing that tends to be very interesting about the Peruvians is that they're actually nice people in such a way that, in as much as they have a multi-ethnic group of setting, they try as much as possible not to see themselves being divided, but then combine themselves to be one entity or one people or one group. And then these people are always welcoming and then incredibly attentive to visitors. And their varied food and many celebrations are things that they would also want you to be enticed into eating, or probably encouraged into eating and all. And they are as well indigenous in terms of singing, dancing, and then having passionate activities, various of activities and all of those things. Like, I think something that strikes me about this, them being indigenous, about dancing and all, is I think it has to do with them upholding their cultures and custom. You know, because of how civilized and how modern everybody or every other thing has become right now, or contemporarily, everybody don't tend to give regards to culture and traditions anymore. But then, for the fact that they still uphold their indigenous way of dancing, indigenous way of singing, and all of these things, I think is one thing that outstands them, and then something that one should go and have a witness of, and then probably you, like, I feel it will just generally to enlarge your coast as regards things about people's culture, their traditions and custom, and how they do their own things differently over there.
Yeah, we have to travel back in time. So you can walk the streets of this fascinating city and admire the tangible links between the pre-Columbia past and the well-preserved colonial architecture, from which you can learn about its rich and complex history. You can also see some indigenous people in traditional clothing in the streets. Besides, you can also immerse yourself in the exciting nightlife. Of course, like, there, you cannot travel to this kind of a place and then you don't find other activities outside business, outside going to church. Of course, people can go out to relax. People can
life,
go out
there
to
should be
have
life
fun.
outside church.
Of course, there should be life after work, outside work. Because if you find yourself in such a country and then you realize that they didn't, you just need to involve yourself in it.
True.
So that you can have the fun they're having. But the thing is, you don't overdo things. That's just the thing. Just do the things to your limits, and then everything will work out fine for you.
And then we have one other thing that should be a reason why you should travel to Peru, as you making a pisco sour with your own hands. And then
I think it's a drink, right?
Yeah. This pisco sour is a Peruvian national drink that is claimed by the government, and then in honor of it, an official government holiday named the National Pisco Sour Day is celebrated yearly on the first Saturday of February. That is, this is something that they hold on to indigenously, in the sense that since they know that it is their own, they try as much as possible to put some more credence and importance to it. So in case you tend to be a visitor in a country as such as Peru, try as much as possible to know how to prepare this thing, so that you can come back to your own country or your own domain and probably sell it off, because this would be a new idea to which you bought or you got freely out there in Peru, and then coming back to make money out of it. I think it's something that should help you and all of those things.
If you're talking about having a reason to travel to Peru, and this last one I'm going to talk about is not a reason for you, then it means you don't have plans of traveling to Peru.
Really?
To shop for its handicrafts and textiles.
If it is not shopping, what else do you people
No,
need?
like, when you have all these things.
Oh yeah, remove shop and add handicraft.
I don't understand.
And
No,
textiles.
shop for it. Like, you need to have it.
Just go and look and come back.
No,
To see and
don't miss the chance to learn.
Just go and see
learn
it.
about the super textile tradition with thousands of years of history in Peru, of course, especially in Cusco and villages surrounding it. Of course, if you don't learn how to do these things, you have to get them. So at least they said don't miss the opportunity, because of course they will definitely teach you how to do it.
only if you are interested to
If
learn.
you are interested, actually. But then why won't I be, when I know if I can actually do them, I
make
can
money out of
do you
it.
understand? So even when I come back to my own country, I can do something with
True,
it.
true.
So then it's not going to be wasted, even when
True.
you learn it and all of them.
True.
They said the surrounding villages are undisputed centers of Peru's textile industry, so you can visit some communities, weaving centers or workshops, to learn about the textile and craft traditions and dyeing techniques, and also shop for some high quality textile as souvenirs. Of course, to come back to give someone something that you bought in Peru, do you think it's easy?
It's something that I'll hold on to, and probably whenever I see this thing, I'll remember.
You know,
Peru.
you travel. Do you understand?
I think it's something that is to some extent very important. And then some of the known facts as regards this country called Peru is that Peru has the highest
Sand
sand
dunes in the
dunes in
world.
the
Of course,
world.
obviously, from all the things that
We said
we've
just like we
said.
said it has about 60% of rainfall, so of course you should know that there will be a lot of sands, and then that the country has about 1,008 species of birds,
Birds,
which is around 20% of the
the
world's
world's
total.
total bed.
Damn.
Wow.
I know you are wowing
20%.
too. Wow too. Just wow with us. So I
Like,
know,
just
I
wow,
know,
I'm
I
like,
know it's
oh,
wow, it's what
really?
wowing. So wow with us too. Then it's home to Amazon rainforest, which I just said, like which covers about 60%
60%.
of the country. And talking about the vibrant textile you just talked about, like they have about 1,000 different types of it. Then tomatoes, like we've said, and then
Potatoes,
1,005 types of corn. Like I think it's something that is worth going to go and
Of
experience.
course, like you just need to go and experience it, like because you can't tell me that you hear about all this and then you don't go to see it for yourself.
If not for anything, I think you see, I think if I'm supposed to be motivated to traveling to this country, it should be this their
Potato,
no, this pichu, is it pichu,
Pichu,
michu pichu,
true.
and then these varieties of corn,
Potato,
potato,
then
tomatoes and the
birds
likes. Like I
and
think it's
all.
something that was one you should go and see, and probably you test them, and if there are ways of getting seeds of
Of
all of
course,
these
come back
things
and plant
individually, you
it in your
plant them.
country.
Yeah.
Of course, we have the country also has rich musical heritage with instruments like the siko, a type of pan pipe, and then the karango, a small guitar-like instrument. Of course, talk about music too. Peru is home to the world's largest waterfall by volume of water, located on the Amazon River.
Ooh, wow.
The country has a unique tree, tomato fruit, also known as tamarillo. It's actually interesting. Like I'll still say it's like if you don't have a reason to travel to Peru, just for this one reason about the different species of
Just
all
go.
these
Just go.
tomato, potato, corn,
There should be. I
birds,
think
and
there
all
should be
of
great
that.
importers of foodstuffs.
Seriously,
Believe me, with all
seriously.
of these things that we are hearing or seeing as well. So, then talking about the etiquette too, like some of the basic etiquettes as regards Peruvians is that they tend to take great pride in their appearance and presentations, and then most will wear nice clothing, and then will avoid wearing their old and dirty clothes in public, which is
Of course, it's a normal thing for
it's very
everybody.
normal.
Although not everybody, sha.
Don't
Because
appear like
most
the way your
people,
problems are. Appear like you don't have
like someone will
problems.
say, "Thank God we don't look like our problems." Of course,
Appear like you don't have
sometimes you disguise
problems.
yourself even when you have problems. You don't need to show
At
the
least
whole
give
world
that
that you're going
impression
through a
out
lot.
there that you are living large, even if you are suffering at home. Let it be known that you are fine. And that's one thing that Peruvians do too.
True.
And then people make a distinction between the Peruvian time and then the English time. In such a way that they often prioritize people and relationships rather than strict adherence to time frames. And indeed, arriving at events later than the designated time is quite common, which is normal.
And it's like for people who actually go to churches, like when you're going to enter your church, just enter with your hat and your glasses.
Yeah.
It's advisable to you now.
Mind your
When
business.
you find
Very
yourself,
important.
you find yourself in Peru, you remove your hat and your sunshades. Like it's just okay for you to do that, which is actually a normal thing. And then it is considered poor etiquette to put one's feet on a chair, table, or desk.
This one
Of course,
they'll get me on this one. I have a very bad
so you
sitting
see,
posture.
so you need to actually work on that before you find yourself in Peru.
It's not an issue of finding myself. I'm already there. I think the only thing that is hindering me is the fact that my
You're not
visa.
physically there.
No, I'm no, even physically.
You're not there
I'm
yet.
there.
How
I'm there.
you there and
The
you're
only
here?
no, the only problem. No, we are talking about Peru, so I am acting it. I'm acting it like I'm
Okay.
there. So there are even this Machu
Picchu.
Picchu. Yeah, I think I went there yesterday, but I didn't really have enough of time
In
to.
your dreams.
No, not in my dream. Physically, it's just hours journey from Peru to Nigeria. I drove it. Sorry,
You see why I say you always want to just show yourself. You drove in. Wow. Yesterday and today you're here. Congratulations.
sorry,
sir.
my flight arrived.
It's a lie. You don't ready for her. Anyways, it is actually considered rude to turn down invitations when they invite you to, and then most times they invite you to their homes because they want to bond with you.
True.
And then there are things you shouldn't take along with you to such places, like taking knife, cutlass, scissors, and all of this.
What would you go and do?
They consider it being that you're trying to cut the communication, or rather the bonding that you need to have with them.
If you are not
So
asked to
then-
come alongside with all of those things, why would you go to someone's house with scissors, knife, and
Like I
all
thought of
those
it
things?
too when I was like, okay, but
Doesn't
like
make any
why
sense.
should
It
you
will only
even
give
go
me an
with such
impression that you have a
things?
bad motive towards my
Do you
towards your
get?
coming.
But then it's just advisable that if you're visiting such places, if they should invite you, don't turn it down, because to them it means you don't want the relationship between you and all of that. So then if you find yourself there, just be good enough to go and then accept the invitation, even if it's better for you to reschedule than for you not to even go at all.
True.
They consider it being rude and all of that. And then it's allowed for you to go with gifts as well, because you must wrap the gifts and then give it to them, and then they have to unwrap it and all that. Even in your presence they can do that, because you just want you to feel you've given them something, and they will appreciate everything.
And then talking about eating too, like it's most definite that you eat directly to. When you are directed to the table, you try as much as possible to have like a opposition sort of sitting, where you are sitting opposite the person over there. Sorry, what am I saying? Like you are sitting in opposite together, when you are opposite position together, where you see what the person is doing and all of that. So I think, and ideally again, you don't sit until you are asked to sit down, and not just until you are asked to sit down, until you are being shown where to sit while sitting. So some of these things are basic etiquette that you're supposed to put into your consideration while traveling to Peru, because Peruvians are likely to exhibit some of these things to your own
guests that are expected to eat all the food that is being offered to them. Like any reason that you have for not eating the food, you should actually tell them tactically.
Emphasis on the tactically. Make sure you tell them a significant reason why you're not going to eat a particular
food. Anyways, Tony, I understand a lot of things about Peru, and then you should have reasons to travel to a particular country. And as much as they are welcoming people, they are loving people, they are people that when you find yourself with them, like you are good to go when it comes to business, when it comes to all sorts of things. Finding yourself in Peru is an opportunity for you to learn a lot and then to understand how life is there. Anyways, we've been talking about Peru. Can you just give me a little time?
To do what?
Excuse me, we're going on a break.
Okay, I thought you a little time to do what. I was just wondering what exactly.
Anyways, we'll take a time out, and then when we come back, we'll tell you more about Peru. Don't touch that there. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it's the Midday show live on Echo Television International. We're talking about Peru today. Please don't touch that. I will have something little again to tell you before we end the show. I still have Tony in the studio with me. Welcome back, Tony.
You're welcome for having me, because it's a privilege to have me, though. But for the fact that I'm not really a private person.
Drop pride.
Okay.
Just drop it.
Okay.
Drop it.
I don't like violence. That's why I'm just trying to adhere to everything you are saying. So I'm a peaceful person all the way from Peru. So I just today I'm acting like them.
Yeah,
so
welcome.
Thank you.
Don't be too frugal when it comes to food. Peruvian cuisine can be widely cheap, but if you treat yourself to an upscale restaurant every once in a while, you realize just how delicious it can be. So no matter how it is, at least give yourself a treat. Just once. Popular dishes include the guinea pig, chicken, potato casserole, and keep in mind that fast food establishments like McDonald's and KFC are actually not that cheap by Peruvian standard.
But there are other things that are cheap.
But I know you definitely say, but there are other things that are cheap. So
you mustn't go to these places she just mentioned.
Don't go to expensive
places. Go to the cheap places. But then be mindful of your tummy. So that you don't start go and purge. I mean, you don't start to go and stop. Hey.
Have you eaten today? Obviously. Because I don't understand what's happening to you today.
To go into Peru.
Really? Yes. The last time I checked, somebody was telling me he doesn't want to go to Peru. But what happened now? Because it's cheap, right?
No, you are the one that said you like going to
because
to
it's
cheap
actually
place because you are cheap. So that's what.
Wow.
No, it's only cheap.
No, you don't say I am cheap.
People that are cheap are attracted to cheap things. Now.
No problem, anyways.
People
like their
like
looks, you shall know them. You know who is cheap and who is
Maldives,
not. You know who is cheap and who is. What did you call it?
She sells. We have places like Canada.
Peru
is just a place that
because
of the fact that you were just pressurizing me that let's go to Peru. I said, so I will not be as if I'm a bad person. Let's just go to this Peru and see what's there. But then
so now we are here.
I think fascinatingly, I'm happy that I'm here because of the fact that there are so many things I didn't know about this country. And having seen some of these few things about Peru, I think I'm excited to, if possible, after my retirement, I would want to spend the
Oshe.
rest of my life
So
here.
you will retire and go to Peru
I won't retire
because it's cheap, right?
no, because things are affordable. Not don't use the word cheap. Things are affordable in that country.
Okay.
And then one other thing that you shouldn't do there while you are there is to the fact that you should avoid annoying the locals, and the locals are just the normal citizens that are over there. And then that some tourists, whether deliberately or not, have a talent for seriously irritating the locals. And this could involve classic tourists, like when you speak loudly in English to a Spanish-speaking Peruvian, and then all the while getting frustrated at their failure to comprehend what you are actually saying. And being grumpy, negative, or angry won't get you very far here. But then be respectful, keep your criticism to yourself, and try not to be intrusive when you are taking a picture. Try as much as possible to be all humble, kind when you are talking to Peruvians, because just like we said, maybe you could be suffering from your inability to communicate perfectly to them or something, being that they speak Spanish, or probably the major population there speak Spanish because of how multilingual, what's it called, lingua franca they use the language as. So for you to avoid that, try as much as possible to be humble even while communicating, so that they will not see it like you are trying to be all angry and frustrated on them, and then before you know it, a chaos is already there, and probably you are being deported even before finishing what you are going there for.
Yeah, don't buy drugs and don't be afraid to haggle. Anyways, we have food. If you don't talk about food, when you know that they actually got an award when it has to do with their drink, why won't you
Why
talk
are you
about
smiling?
food? Because it's food.
So food is life.
Excuse you, of course. We have the ceviche or ceviche. Top of any list of must try food in Peru is this, and then which is originated by the Peruvians and is the national dish of the country. So it is
everywhere you
cold
go.
cooked fish dish that is marinated in lime juice and usually served alongside red onions, boiled corn and sweet potato. Unlike ceviche from Mexico, in Peru, ceviche doesn't use tomatoes or avocado.
And then many Peruvians believe that ceviche is actually more of like an hangover cure.
Oh wow.
Maybe
Okay.
if you went and messed up the previous night, after eating this, at least like you'll be back to your normal
Yeah, and
sense.
since it's a popular food, that means you can
You
find it just anywhere.
True. Then we have the lomo salgado, and this is actually a very famous Peruvian dish that you should definitely try. And it's actually called the lomo salgado, originating in Lima. Lima is actually the capital city.
I was going to ask you what is the capital of Peru, but then
Lima is the capital city of
Peru.
Peru. And then that this is actually made up of marinated scallion stick, and then it is then stir fried, and then red onions, tomato, and then the most important ingredient, which is aji. Is it the aji that we know? Which is a hot I think it is.
It's aji. This one is aji.
Also just call it
Yaji.
yaji. That's what I'm saying now.
Okay.
It's aji. So they have
Hot
aji too
pepper.
there. For those that like aji, you don't have to go with your yaji. So that it's usually served with rice and French fries on the side. Oh wow. I think it's actually nice to eat something like this, but then I think it's nice.
Yes, it's very nice.
But doesn't have stew, doesn't have soup.
This is the sauce as it is.
Eh.
Look at it by this side. That's
Wow.
the sauce with the onions and
Make
all.
sure when you are eating this kind of food, you know the way to your toilet. So that
To
yes,
create lomo
yes.
saltado, Chinese chefs in Peru's Chinco neighborhood took to the streets of Lima and started suturing beef in a wok in the early 19th century. Lima's Cala Concepio, often known as Peru's Barrio Chino, is the birthplace of lomo saltado. But nowadays, the famous dish can be found all over the country.
Like it's everywhere.
So, like, it's everywhere. So, we have the polo a la brasa, which is the roasted chicken. It's
I'm
very
here.
simple. It's
I'm
roasted
here.
chicken.
I am here, my darling.
I know, right?
I bet here. Is it not roasted chicken again? We are here together. Are you not
Okay.
going with me?
Is it not chicken?
We are there now.
I don't even need. I don't need to think about it. No way. The dish is served with French fries and salad, but most importantly, with the delicious aji vaji, which is the yaji that you talked about,
Yeah.
that is mixed together out of cashews, sour cream, mayo, as well as jalapenos to give it a bit of spice. This is
Ooh.
a relatively new dish in Peru and usually eaten for dinner, which for Peruvians is around 8 to 10 p.m. So it was first established in the they have time like from 8 to 10 p.m. neighborhood in the year 1950. So Roger Chula, a Swiss immigrant living there, studied his cook's methods and eventually tried his hand at preparing chicken. Go to one of the many restaurants in Lima, that's the capital of Peru, that have this meal on the menu and share a polo with friends or family.
I think it's something that is what. No, it's not worth trying. Something that is
That
trying.
you should try. That you should try actually.
Then we have the aji de gallina, which is a creamy chicken. That this is another chicken recipe in the Peruvian cuisine, which is aji de gallina, which is made out of shredded chicken that is then wrapped in a thick sauce made out of cheese. Then this aji marilla sauce, which gives the dish a fruity but also spicy taste. I think this is saucy.
Yeah, there's even egg on it.
Sliced
Then
egg.
the rice.
Then that this has been their food and a dish that they've been eating since the 16th century.
Wow.
And then slaves from Africa brought to Peru by the Spanish are credited with introducing this. So it's an African dish that decide to snatch away from us, but then it's actually nice seeing it over there too though. Then the original inspiration for aji de gallina came from the desire to use up discarded tomatoes and poultry. So I think it's something that is worth trying because of the fact that it actually has its origination from Africa, the roots from Africa.
Yeah.
So at least we also that is totally
Of course, it's something you should
represented.
try.
Yeah, we're represented over there. Our food are represented.
Of course, we have
representing us over there.
the kosa, which is the potato casserole. The Peruvian appetizer that looks like a very interesting burger is served cold. So the buns are made out of mashed potatoes and aljimarillo. The filling usually consists of avocado and chicken or tuna. Of course, this is since they have potato, like well, they will use potato to do everything. Like
things, yeah. I think even from one of these foods that we were just describing earlier, like you see some slices of potatoes
in everything,
some
right?
of this food. So
Of
that is that
course.
it's one of the common things that they make use of. And it's not just the potatoes too. They have corn. They have a lot of things that is worth trying. So I think food for it is done for me because a lot of food, since they are already known for how good they are, and then for the fact that they have been acknowledged even all over the world, collecting award back to back for a 5 year stretch. Like I think in a stretch, I think it's actually one of the countries that really are nice. I mean, are good in terms of cooking. So I think if at all you want to enhance your zeal to cook or your ability to know how to cooking more.
Are you referring to me, like in person right
yeah,
now, or
you're
to
referring to
someone
Linda
else?
Philip, yeah. So
Wow.
you should travel to Peru, but then not just go there and waste my money because I know if in case you would
I
be
feel
traveling to
touched,
places
like
like
your
that.
money,
Yeah,
like you're
so
going to give,
don't
you're
go
going
and
to
go and
send
waste my
me.
money and
As
be going
what?
to unnecessary places.
As what?
You go to kitchen school. Sorry, what's the caterer school?
Chicken. You see, I see you're overdoing things. It's not your money. It's not like you're going to send me and you're still telling me you're
Yeah,
going
if you go to a chicken school, is it about
Please, what is you see my problem with you, right? Anyways, I will not blame you. We have the anticuchos, beef heart skewers. Never tried hearts, but really want to. The Peruvian food is the perfect dish for you. This beef heart is seasoned with garlic and vinegar and is very tough to eat. That is why it is often flash fried for a couple of seconds to make it a bit more tender. For anyone that is not keen on eating beef heart, there are also options for marinated chicken version of the kebabs. Then the anticuchos are typically consumed on the move while walking about, so you can get them all from restaurants, but they aren't the same. Of course, the taste will definitely not be the same, and then it is very common to find these in each district of Lima, which is the capital of Peru. And then
we have the
the what?
kui, this is spelled as CUY, but then the pronunciation is Kui.
Okay.
Yeah, that it's actually a delicacy made out of the rich and fatty meat of a guinea pig,
Mm.
and that most people who try it when they visit Peru report it as a similar taste to chicken, and that the meat is either cooked on traditional oven or fried, and then oftentimes served with fried potatoes, corn, then haji, and then it's actually eaten with your hands. So make sure you have plenty of napkins as you get to beat messy. That is, when you dive into this food, just try as much as possible to know. I mean, try as much as possible to have napkins so that
Right,
you,
don't pour it on your body.
not even pour it, so that when you are out of the place that you finish eating it, people will not know that you've gone to mess up yourself, because you look
because
messed
you
up because
enjoy
of
it.
because of how delicious it's going to be and all that. And I think that's all. Then I think we should move on
Pisco sauce.
to the educational system in Peru.
I must talk about this pisco sauce.
Don't I talk?
The pisco sauce is not really a food, but the national drink of Peru.
It's the national drink. That's why I didn't
And
say
it's so iconic. We couldn't end this list of Peru's best food without
it.
mentioning
Lasha like
it.
drinks.
Of course, the cocktail is made out of Peruvian drinks, which is disliked or rather distilled wine, and is mixed with a lot of things. So then
Like
you find yourself. I
syrup.
did not ask you. So then it's more like a juice. You can use lime juice and topped with maybe white
Nice
egg
one.
and all of them.
Me, do
The
this to me.
cocktail has a very refreshing taste to it and can be found in any of the places you find yourself when you want to relax and all of that. Talk about the education.
Yeah, so you are done with your
That's
what
the
you
one
talk
I can
about.
do.
We're talking about the education, just like the normal how educational system are being designed. That they have the primary education, which is through the primary school, and then theoretically free for children from the ages of 7 to 16, and then although in practice accessible to many rural children. And then the model begins with preschool education before children enter primary school for grade 6. And then the secondary school consists of 5 grades, where many children, especially from country areas, find it difficult to adapt to this new level, especially as they are accustomed to a single teacher. And then ongoing efforts are placed in order to try to close this gap. Then talking about the vocational education, which is available from a variety of technological institutions and other similar facilities, although mainly private, but then these are supervised and graded by Ministry of Education, and then they also license them, which is a very nice thing, knowing that they give free education to children ages to from 7 to 16. I think is something that is very good and something that should be adoptable because of the fact that they give credence to education and they hold it to a very large esteem. And then talking about the tertiary institution, and that it is available from private and public technical colleges and universities. Courses taken at the former require, that is,
3,000
hours of study, which is usually 3 years, and then the results in certification as technical professionals rather. That's talking about the vocational education, just in case you want to enhance in your vocational training and all that. You can get all of these things you just said. And then the oldest university in Peru is the Universidad, I don't know,
Universidad Nacional Major
de San Marcos, founded in 1551 AD.
Wow.
By the decree of the King Carlos of Spain. And then those students who manage to aspire to tertiary university education follow a hierarchy of degree courses similar to the American model.
They said about 94, above 94% of the Peruvians can read and write.
Yeah, I think it's very nice, because knowing that they give credence to education right from the grassroots, I think is actually one thing, that kind of a result they should get. It's a nice
I think
thing.
education is actually an important part of one's
Don't
life.
think
so
it
then
is.
you should I said to think
Okay.
education is an important part. Please.
Why is your
always
vibe?
cut me
Why
when
am I
I'm
the one
talking.
killing your vibe?
Excuse you. Anyways, I think we've draw the curtain here because I'm tired of seeing your face.
Let's spread the curtain.
Like I'm
again.
done. No, please, let's draw the curtain. Anyways, thank you, Tony, for doing this with me. Always.
As usual. Normal,
I
normal,
told you to
normal,
drop
normal.
pride.
Me
I
would
told you to
just.
drop pride,
This is
right?
not pride. This is me, Tony, speaking. It's little
Tony,
or
what?
no pride, but you
A
see it
little or
as
no
one.
pride. Anyways, I'm done with you for now, Sha. Thank you, viewers, for watching this particular episode with us. I hope you had fun just the way we did. And I hope you'll be willing to watch again another episode which will bring your way again very soon. Have a blessed day and please be happy today. Bye.